So this is for the memorandum of points and authorities in support of the verified answer and counterclaim and petition to vacate judgment. This example is for a foreclosure case, and it's can be adopted to use for any secured or unsecured account. And this is where the third-party intervener is coming in as a counterplaintiff and countersuing the bank accusing them of unjust enrichment and conversion, and motioning the court to vacate the judgment. I'm just going to jump right into the meat here. Okay, argument for vacating judgment and setting aside default. Pursuant to subsection B of subsection 3602 of the Uniform Commercial Code as adopted by the state of Illinois, an instrument is paid to the extent payment is made by or on behalf of a party obligated to pay the instrument and to a person entitled to enforce the instrument. To the extent of the payment, the obligation of the party obliged to pay the instrument is discharged even though payment is made with knowledge of a claim to the instrument under UCC 3-306 by another person. If tender of payment of an obligation to pay an instrument is made to a person entitled to enforce the instrument and the tender is refused, there is discharge to the extent of the amount of the tender of the obligation of an endorser or a combination party having a right of recourse with respect to the obligation to which the tender relates. If tender payment of the amount due on an instrument is made to a person entitled to enforce the instrument, the obligation, okay, so blah, 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 just quotes 3-603. Then it says, pursuant to 3-104, a negotiable instrument is defined as an unconditional promise or order to pay a fixed amount of money with or without interest or other charges described in the promise or order, if it is payable to bearer or to order at the time it is issued or first comes into possession of a holder, is payable on demand or at a definite time, or does not state any other undertaking or instruction by the person promising or ordering payment to do any act in addition to the payment of money. But the promise or order may contain an undertaking or power to give, maintain, or protect collateral to secure payment and authorization or power to the holder to confess judgment or realize on or dispose of collateral or a waiver of the benefit of any law intended for the advantage or protection of obligor. That's a huge run-on sentence, but go over it slower if it was too fast. I got to breeze through this document here. Pursuant to the Uniform Commercial Code 3-303, an instrument is issued or transferred for value if an instrument is issued or transferred for a promise of performance to the extent the promise has been performed. Point number 2, the transferee acquires a security interest or other lien in the instrument other than a lien obtained by judicial proceeding. Point number 3, the instrument is issued or transferred as payment of or security for an antecedent claim against any person, whether or not a claim is due. And number 4, the instrument is issued or transferred in exchange for a negotiable instrument. Number 5, the instrument is issued or transferred in exchange for the incurring of an irrevocable obligation to a third party by the person taking the instrument. So UCC 303 defines consideration as any consideration sufficient to support a simple contract. The drawer or maker of an instrument has a defense if the instrument is issued without consideration. If an instrument is issued for a promise of performance, the issuer has a defense to the extent performance of the promise is due and the promise has not been performed. Whoa, that is key. If an instrument is issued for value, as stated in subsection A of this section, the instrument is also issued for consideration. All right, so here's in the simplest situation here. If an instrument is issued for a promise of performance, the issuer has a defense to the extent performance of a promise is due and the promise has not been performed. So if you send a negotiable instrument to the bank with a contract detailing terms of performance, your defense, you can enforce their performance in a court of law if they've kept the instrument. That's the meat and potatoes here. You can use the UCC and you can use all these codes to enforce and sue the banks for performance. If they haven't released your lien, if they haven't removed information from your credit report, if they haven't stopped collection activity, if there's, if they've repossessed your car or are about to, these are the pleadings that very well may help you. Thank you for watching. Oh, and by the way, you can get a lot of these templates for free Many of them are free. If you go to understandcontractloanyouwin.com, sign up for the private. When you click on certain sections of the site, it's going to say it's private. Just sign up for the private, and then hover over free education, and there's going to be a section added for free downloads. So make sure you go there, and also subscribe to our announcement list down here, because we have free webinars every week, but we don't give out the information unless you're on our list. We want to make sure that we can stay in touch with you and build a private community of people studying and helping each other get remedy. Okay? So thank you for watching.